Hey everybody, Jay Super Awesome here. I'd like to welcome you all to episode number 14 of my horror movie spotlight. In this episode, we will be taking a look at 10 exorcism or possession films from my collection. This should be fun, so let's get started. Okay, up first is The Exorcist. Controversial and popular from the moment it opened, The Exorcist endures as a defining classic that influenced movies afterwards and still shocks and haunts today. The frightening and realistic tale of an innocent girl inhabited by a terrifying entity, her mother's frantic resolve to save her and two priests, one doubt-ridden, the other a rock of faith, joined in battling ultimate evil, always leaves viewers breathless. Okay, next up is The Taking of Deborah Logan. She's not losing her mind, someone is taking it. Maya Medina has finally found the perfect subject for her PhD thesis film on Alzheimer's disease. For the next several months, cameras will record the everyday life of a mother, Deborah Logan, and her daughter, Sarah. But as days progress, strange things begin to happen around Deborah that are not consistent with any findings about Alzheimer's. It soon becomes apparent that a terrifying evil far worse than the debilitating disease has taken control of Deborah. Okay, up next is the Vatican Exorcisms. Black masses, orgies, and possession. The horrifying story that the church tried to bury. Hoping to expose a shocking scandal inside the Vatican, a filmmaker travels to Rome to interview several key witnesses, but finds himself unearthing something far more sinister. As he is drawn further into the satanic underworld, he becomes dangerously close to exposing a darker reality of corruption and demonic forces, and soon discovers that the truth is best kept secret. Next up is Ava's Possessions. Ava is recovering from demonic possession with no memory of the past month. She is forced to attend a Spirit Possessions Anonymous support group. As Ava struggles to reconnect with her friends, get her job back, and figure out what the huge bloodstain in her apartment came from, she is plagued by nightmarish visions. The demon is trying to come back. Next up is Beyond the Door. In this Italian-made horror film, the wife of a record producer named Jessica has an affair with a devil worshiper and becomes pregnant. During the pregnancy, she goes through several physical changes. Seemingly possessed by a demon, a mysterious man from the past named Dimitri shows up to help pregnant Jessica, but his motivations are questionable. Next up is The Possession Experiment. Brandon has always been drawn to the supernatural. So when asked to pick a topic to base his final world theology class project on, he decides to explore the dark world of exorcisms. Teamed up with two classmates, the group is led to investigate a multiple homicide that they eventually discover was an exorcism gone horribly wrong. Brandon becomes obsessed with the event and, in a strange turn of events, decides the only way to research this topic is to undergo an exorcism himself. Up next is The Possession. Clyde and Stephanie see little cause for alarm when their youngest daughter, Em, becomes oddly obsessed with an antique wooden box she purchased at a yard sale. But as Em's behavior becomes increasingly erratic, the couple fears the presence of a malevolent force in their midst, only to discover that the box was built to contain a Debic, a dislocated spirit that inhabits and ultimately devours its human host. Okay, next up is Grace, the Possession. Grace the Possession is a story told like never before, through the eyes of the possessed. Alexa Fast is Grace, a naive, beautiful, virginal college freshman trying to deal with campus culture and her outgoing new romance. But when terror takes over her body and unleashes chaos, Grace returns to the cold clutches of her severe grandmother and the strict rules of the church. Haunted by the horrific death of her mother and deeply ingrained destructive urges, she must stop the demon inside before it's too late. Next up is The Possession of Michael King. Michael King doesn't believe in God or the devil. Following the sudden death of his wife, the documentary filmmaker decides to make his next film about the search for the existence of the supernatural. Michael decides to make himself the center of the experiment, allowing demonologists, necromancers, and various practitioners of the occult to try the deepest and darkest spells and rituals they can find on him, in hopes that when they fail, he'll once and for all have all the proof that religion, spiritualism, and the paranormal are nothing more than a myth. Okay, last up is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Emily Rose was the average teenage girl who was the target of terrifying demonic forces that would ultimately shock a town and torment her soul. But was she, as many believed, possessed? In an attempt to clear the clergyman who exorcised Emily, a skeptical attorney awakens to the discovery that powerful spiritual forces may actually exist. This harrowing film unfolds like a recurring nightmare from which there is no wakening. Okay, so there you have it, a look at 10 exorcism or possession films from my collection. Please join me again next time for the final episode, episode number 15, as we will be taking a look at slasher films from the 1980s. Please like, subscribe, and comment below and let me know what you think about this video, and I would like to thank you for watching.